Welcome, Super Smarties. Let's let the learning begin. All right, let's start with I will bet. When we are through, I will be able to identify the school pledge, the days of the week, the hump numbers from 0 to 100, the letters by name, form, sound, and an object, my zone of regulation, the months of the year, and sequential event narrative writing. Whew, that's a lot. Let's get started. All right, we are Lindstrom Lions, and Lindstrom Lions are always ready to roar. R, we are respectful. O, we only do our best. A, we are always safe. R, we are responsible. We are Lindstrom Lions. We're proud to be part of the pride. Now we've been looking at the days of the week, and today is the third day of the school week or the work week. It's the fourth day of the calendar week. The first day of the week is Sunday, and the last day is Saturday. Those are the weekends, and we don't come to school on those days. But we do come to school on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Wednesday, I know it's hard to pronounce that. See the letters? W-E-D, wed, N-E-S, ness, D-A-Y, day. Most people say Wednesday, but really the N is on the other side of the D, so it's Wednesday. Try it with me. Wednesday, Wednesday, Wednesday. Tricky. And it's the middle of the week. Like if we're on a roller coaster, it's ch, ch, ch. It's all downhill from there. So this is the very middle of the school week and the work week, Wednesday. It's also the longest day of the week spelling-wise. Sometimes it feels like the longest day of the week as well. So let's read the days of the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And if you look to the side, you see that each of these parts of the word is missing the word of day. These are called abbreviations. And we put a little period in place of the section of the word, the chunk of the word that we've eliminated. And so if you were writing and you wanted to just make a quick notation of what day it was, instead of writing the whole day, including the word D-A-Y at the end, that chunk, you could just say sun, mun, tues, wed, thurs, fry, sat. Abbreviations for the days of the week. Nice job. Today you're going to be finding on your paper that the month is, good job. The number of the day is, remember, reference back to yesterday so you know which one you're going to be highlighting for today. And then yesterday was Tuesday. So today is Wednesday, and tomorrow will be Thursday. We've been looking at the numbers from 0 to 100 and looking at different ways that we can focus on them. Today what we're going to do is we're going to focus on what's called the hump numbers. Just like Wednesday is the hump day of the week, there are hump numbers that drop us or push us over from one decade to the next decade. And sometimes when we're learning how to count, when we come to the next decade, that's where our brain gets a little bit confused. So if we spend a little bit of time focusing on the hump numbers, getting up and over to the next decade, our brain can push that information into our schema. That's all the information that lives in our smart brain. And we can build the schematic for how we hold jumping the decade. And then we can get into what's called automaticity. Fast as a snap, fast as a clap, fast as a blink. That's how fast that I can think. And when we're working with math, we want our brains to be lightning fast to get to that information so quickly, because when we have problems that we need to solve, equations that we need to figure out, it's really important that our brain understands numbers very fluidly. We can count forward and count back. We know how to just drop in onto a counting chart and know how much that number is, what the value is, what it's more than, what it's less than, what it's equal to, how it's made up. Because later we're going to be doing multi-step math, and so we want this to not take a lot of our brain function. We want it to live in a compression so we can access that information, means get it really quickly and use it to apply in something else, which is why we spend so much time working over and over and over and over and over and over on counting and numeracy. So every decade is anchored here on the right-hand side of my chart. And what you notice is that there's a pattern in counting. Essentially, there's a 0 here, but since 0 is the empty set and it represents no value, we don't write 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4. Sometimes when we write the date, we will put that in because mathematically, sometimes watches and computer programs need the 0 there because it's holding a defined number of spaces and it has to put something in it. But our brain just knows it's a 0, so we don't say 0, 1, we just say 1. And this digit is in what's called the ones place. And in the tens place, there's essentially a 0. It's empty. But there is a tens place here. There's just nothing sitting in it. So our brain sees single digits up to 9. And then it sees double digits because now there's a 1 in the tens place. But look at the pattern. Just like there was not any number or numeral sitting here, now when we jump the decade, it's a 1. In every single one of these numbers, there's a 1 in the tens place. And the ones place fluidly gets larger by 1 as we count forward, going to the right and down. Now look, here's where we're jumping a decade. So 19 to 20. 9 is the highest single digit numeral that we can use. So when we get to 9, we've capped it or topped off. So we have to roll back to a 0. And then the tens place rolls up to the next digit, which is 2. And it does it consistently all the way down. So you can see a pattern. Everything here is 0 and the numeral. Everything here is 1 and the numeral. Everything here is 2 and the numeral till we get to this. Everything here is 3 and the numeral. Then we go to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And here now we've come to the hundreds. So there's an empty place, an empty set in the ones place, an empty set in the tens place, and then there's 1 in the hundreds place. And as we continue the chart, we would add 100, 1, a 100 into every single number that followed until we capped all the way down to the 99, and then we jump up to the next 200. All right, so let's do the hump numbers. Watch my finger and echo me. 8, 9, 10, 11, 18, 19, 20, 21, 28, 29, 30, 31, 38, 39, 40, 41, 48, 49, 50, 51, 58, 59, 60, 61, 68, 69, 70, 71, 78, 79, 80, 81, 88, 89, 90, 91, 98, 99, 100, 101. Good job. Now, one thing you might want to try is run the tape back and try it a couple of times till you fluidly can do it with me. You don't need to fill in the space behind what I say as my echo. Outstanding. Now, we've been looking at letters every single day as well, and I want to continue doing that because we really want our brains to know what the name of the letter is, what the form of the letter is. That means whether it's capital or lowercase. what the sound of the letter is or sounds that the letter would make, what we'd expect to hear if someone were to say it, or what we'd expect to see if we were to write it or see someone else had written it. And then we're going to put an anchor picture with it. That's called a mnemonic, when your brain can attach information to other information so that you remember it more easily. Big capital letter A, lowercase a. Apple. Big capital letter B, lowercase b. Bananas. Big capital letter C, lowercase c. Cat. Big capital letter D, lowercase d. Dog. Big capital letter E, lowercase e. Eggs. Big capital letter F, lowercase f. Flag. Big capital letter G, lowercase g. Guitar. Big capital letter H, lowercase h. Hammer. Big capital letter I, lowercase I. And this also says a long sound of I. In this word, it's using the long sound. Ice cubes. Big capital letter J, lowercase j. Now if you notice on this one there's a cap across, that's fine. It looks kind of like a capital I. You don't always have to put that. Sometimes you'll see it in print that way. So it's kind of a text J. Jacks. Big capital letter K, lowercase k. Key. Big capital letter L, lowercase l. Ladder. Big capital letter M, lowercase m. Microscope. Big capital letter N, lowercase n. Nickels. Big capital letter O, lowercase o. O makes several sounds. For this picture, we're going to be looking at O, oranges. Big capital letter P, lowercase p. Pineapple. Big capital letter Q, lowercase q. Quarters. Big capital letter R, lowercase r. Rabbit. Big capital letter S, lowercase s. Saw. Big capital letter T, lowercase t. Turtle. Big capital letter U, lowercase u. Umbrella. Big capital letter V, lowercase v. Videotape. Now you have to be pretty old to know what this is. It's how movies used to be taped on televisions, and then you'd watch it later. Now you'll see this in a museum. Big capital letter W, lowercase w. Wrench. You barely hear it in this word. Wrench. Wrench. Big capital letter X, lowercase x. X. It also says X and it says Z. It's stealing the sound from Z. And in this picture, it's Z, xylophone. Big capital letter Y, lowercase y. Yo, yo. Sometimes Y is a consonant and sometimes it's a vowel. So it depends on where it sits in a word, which sound it's going to make, or which sound you'll make when you see it. Big capital letter Z, lowercase z. Z. Zebras. Nice job. Now we're focusing on the month. We're not going to write it on our whiteboard, but you do have it in your daily calendar. So make sure that you find which month it is. We're going to review those months. And remember, I said the last time we were together that the blue indicates the season of winter. The green indicates the season of spring. The red indicates the season of summer. And the orange indicates the season of fall or autumn. And the months are broken up 3 and 3 and 3 and 3. Now, September kind of spans over 2 seasons. First, it starts as summer, and then it bridges into autumn or fall. And that's the same of May as well. Oh, actually, June. June is the one that spans from spring to summer. So it's not quite the first day of this month is when the season comes, but during that month is when we roll into the next season. And the season really indicates the Earth's rotation, turning and how it's moving around the sun, and whether the weather is cooler or warmer. So it has a lot to do with weather and the darkness and the light outside. Be my echo. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. There are 12 months in a year. Did you hear? I said there are 12 months in a year. And when you get to the last one, it just cycles right back over. Around and around and around. That's really important that in math and science you see the cycles or the patterns and how they repeat themselves. Patterns are everywhere around us. And the sooner we discover them and imprint them in our schema and build schematics looking for them, the more easily we get new information in and understand what's happening in the world all around us. All right, let's focus on our board. Remember, you need to have this packet when you're working, and it's in your green asynchronous work folder. It's scheduled for 8:30 to 9, but you can do the calendar anytime during the day that it works for you and your family. So today, make sure that you see in the upper right-hand corner that it says sequential event narrative writing. Now, even if you can't read all the words, look for the S. We're using what's called a mnemonic, using the information that we might already know to look for information that we need to know. And we're going to repeat this again. It's going to be a pattern. So the more you see it and the more you say it, the more likely you are to remember it. Sequential event narrative. That means things happening in order from first to what's next to what comes last. 1, 2, 3, beginning, middle, and end. Now on your paper, the lines are not really clear, so you may want to take a pencil and just go right over the lines so you make 3 separate boxes for recording your information. And this is something that happened yesterday. So yesterday I did this. Oh, and it's then, not the. Then, you don't have a typo in your book. Then I did that. And finally I did this. First I did this, next I did this, last I did that. So maybe I got up and I went to school. Then I sat and learned on my computer. And then I went home and I went to bed. So that's me sleeping. So yesterday I went to school. Then I learned. Finally, I went to bed. That's just a simple way of putting it, but you don't have to do it exactly that same way. Remember to put your name. Practice makes permanent, so practice perfectly. Just do your best. If you're not sure how to spell it on your own, someone bigger can write it in a highlighter or a yellow crayon. Yellow crayon is hard to trace over, but it does work. Or you can get your wipe mat, look for your name, and practice transferring the letters that you see in your name onto the paper till you have them all in the correct sequence, sequential order Otherwise, if you put the letters out of order, it's not going to look like your name. Until you have a capital at the beginning and all the letters made correctly. And you want to write them, not draw them. So one stroke. All right, yesterday was. So we know that today is Wednesday. So we're going to start right here, and today is. Today, and I'm going to use green. Today is Wednesday. It's right in the middle, and it starts with a w, w. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the third school day or work day, but it's the fourth day of the week. It has the most letters in it, and it starts with a w. Looks like Wednesday. W. So I see it here, and I'm going to look here. No, that's not a W. No, that's not a W. No, that's not a W. Yes, it's a W. And there's not one in anything else, so it obviously has to be this one. So even if I couldn't read all the words, just by looking for what I know, the first letter of what the day of the week is, I can come to the first letter of all these other words and eliminate the rest of them because only one is going to start with the W. So today is Wednesday. So now how I find out yesterday is I put my finger on Wednesday and I go back one. I see it starts with a T, so I know that's Tuesday. Here's Wednesday. I go back one. Tuesday. Now what's tricky is Wednesday sits right in between the two T words. What's different about this one and this one is the first one has the T sound at the beginning and the T. And the second one, although it has a T at the beginning, it also has an H. So it's making the digraph like thumb. So when I see the TH, I say that's not Tuesday. Day is at the end of all of them, so day is not going to help me because they all end the same. So that chunk is just going to make it more confusing. So I'm not going to focus on the ending. I'm going to focus on the beginning because they are different. So now I'm going to take my red. You're going to use your red crayon. Oh, and this one's not working. Let's see. I'm going to try this. I don't have a regular red, so I'm going to use pink today. It's going to come out kind of red. Yesterday was, here's Wednesday. So I put my finger, go up on Wednesday, go back one, and yesterday was Tuesday. So if yesterday was Tuesday, today is Wednesday. I need to go down one more or over to the right one more, and I find Thursday. Now remember, I don't have yellow highlighter. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to use yellow Post-it notes. And my Post-it notes have disappeared. That's crazy, huh? Just like in our classroom. Oh, here they are. Okay, so tomorrow will be Thursday. And you have yellow, so you go ahead and you put yellow. Like, wait, it's not that day yet. You just scribble over it in yellow or circle it in yellow. So yesterday was Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow will be Thursday. We're doing sequential event narrative. Yesterday I went to school. Then I learned. Finally, I went to bed. First, I went to school. Next, I learned. And last, I came home and went to bed. Now, the next thing I'd like you to do is focus on your zones of regulation. Monday was green. Tuesday was coded yellow. Wednesday is coded blue. It's in the middle of the week. So what I want you to think about is, which zone are you in? Are you regulated and ready to learn in the green zone? Are you feeling a little bit tired or ill? Are you in the blue zone? Are you kind of frustrated, sad, and irritable, the yellow zone? Or are you angry, mad, maybe overexcited? Now what I want you to know is no zone is bad, and we all get into some of the zones at some point in time. That just happens. The goal is to not stay in a zone that doesn't serve us and others. So when we're mad, when we're irritable, when we're really tired, we generally aren't as friendly and nice to be around, and we aren't enjoying ourselves the same as when we're in green. So our goal is always to come back to green or get ourselves to green. Start out with green and stay on green. But our feelings, there's nothing wrong with your feelings. They're just feelings. And there's nothing wrong with moving into a different zone. That just happens. The only reason we're labeling the zones is so that we can become aware of what it is that we're feeling. So we can regulate ourselves through breath, through motion, some way that we can focus on bringing ourselves down, controlling our body and our brain. Our brain controls everything, but when our body escalates out of control, it kind of hijacks our brain, and it doesn't let us think easily or say things that are necessarily nice or do things that serve us or others. So this is why we do a check-in, because if we're in one of these three zones, we want to try and do something intentionally to move us back into the green zone. So today what we're going to be focusing on is Spiderman breathing. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, just for your purposes and sake, I'm going to convert myself into Spider-Man. There we go. You can still hear me breathe. You just can't see my mouth, but I'm breathing. And I want you to breathe too. Now, Spider-Man has web slingers. So what I'm going to do is when I breathe in, I'm going to pull my web slingers to me. And when I breathe out, I'm going to release my spinnerets and send my web out. And you can stretch your body out really, really far so that your arms reach far away from you. That stretch will help your body and it'll help oxygenate your blood. As you breathe in deeply, the oxygen goes into your bloodstream. And then as you stretch and move, your blood flows through your whole body and it carries that oxygen-rich blood to all your extremities, your fingers, your toes, up to your brain. And it helps you have a really good feeling because it releases chemicals that make you feel good. Endorphins that make you super happy. And it combats chemicals that don't make you feel good, like what's called cortisol, which makes your body hang on to stress and not feel very good. So we're going to do Spider-Man breathing 3 times. You don't have to have a mask and you don't have to turn into Spider-Man. It just kind of helps. So get your spinnerets ready. Reach your arms out. We're going to pull in when we breathe in. And push your web slingers out. And breathe in. And out. And one more time. And out. Wow, that felt really good. The only thing that would feel better is if I really was Spider-Man and when I released my webs, I actually got to stick them up on something and then but you can imagine doing that. So what you could do is pretend when you release your webs that you swing to them. And then you pull yourself back on the web and release it again. That was a great strategy. I hope you remember to use that when you find yourself in a zone that isn't serving you and won't serve others. It was great sharing this video with you. I look forward to sharing more information in class, on the screen, and in a video. Until later, learners. Goodbye, Super Smarties. Make sure you come back again, ready to learn. Until later, Gator. This is Super Teacher, out.